Hi, Andrew. How are you?
Hi, Mr. Sweeney. I had a question for you about what this oil industry insider that actually finances these oil companies, Mr. Matt Simmons, had to say that he thinks the wellbore is actually pierced and that there could be oil leaking up through the actual sediment up to 5 or 6 miles away.
That's horrible.
Well, I think that
I haven't heard that.
I've heard various scenarios, and I've also heard that was one of the reasons why that people who were thinking about having an explosion to just flatten that down, because of the great pressure, that it might seal it, but it would come up elsewhere because of the great pressure. It would find a way to come up. So I hate to say it, but there have been rumors, and nobody's been able, that I know, have been able to substantiate it that there are 2 leaks, at least, not just this one here, but another one. But I haven't been able to substantiate it. But I've been looking all over to try to find if I can get the answer.
Monumental disaster.
Terrible disaster.
Montebello, California. It's Sanchez, west of the Rockies. Hi, Sanchez.
Hey, good evening, George, and good evening to you. Ahoy, Captain.
Ahoy, Sanchez. Thank you for being on.
Yes, you were just mentioning about a second leak, and I'm wondering if you happen to know anything about a possible third leak. This would be happening about 38 miles away from the Deepwater Horizon. It's a drilling rig. It's called the Ocean Saratoga, and apparently, according to news reports, it's been leaking since at least April 30th. This is according to a federal document. Now, what's been happening since April 30th, they've been pouring the disbursements, and it's been mixing with the oil, and now there's an oil plume, a toxic 10-mile-long oil plume from this Ocean Saratoga rig, and it's now headed for the mouth of the Mississippi River. I'm wondering, do you happen to have any background information on this? Because there seems to be 2 conflicting reports about this evening. Somebody was saying that this is a damaged rig from, say, a few years ago, and they're just repairing it. And other people, according to one watchdog organization called Sky Truth, they're saying that this is a new leak. So I'm just wondering if you have any information on that, Captain.
Well, I have heard and read, Sanchez, that exactly what you're talking about, that they had some satellite imagery, photography that was taken, and it revealed, and this was some weeks ago, that there was a second leak, just like you were saying. Now, whether it was an old one or new one, I haven't heard verified, but I think that you're on the right track, that I have also seen reports about that, too, and I'm very interested, like everybody else, to find out what's happening over there.
Tom texts us, sends a text from Pennsylvania, wants to know if you could just weld a pipe down there. I don't think you can you?
Well, I think that if they could, they would have, and I don't think that the fact that they haven't done it means that it's probably not doable.
No,
or not viable.
Memphis, Tennessee. Al, it's your turn on Coast to Coast. Go ahead, Al.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call.
Oh, Al.
Yeah, a couple of important points. Number one, I hear all these solutions. What I've heard, and I believe is the truth, is that after they tried the top kill, the pressure readings told them that this borehole is unstable. They're afraid to put a valve on it, because if they put a valve on it and close it up, the oil, at this point they think they're going to further fracture the hole, and the oil is just going to come bellowing up around the valve.
I've heard that too. As a matter of fact, that was one of the things that prior to that, why the BP engineers were concerned, is that the walls of the well they felt were unstable, and they were trying to find that right balance between having that top kill be successful, having enough pressure, and you're not having so much that it would cause, a problem that couldn't be fixed at all. You're absolutely right, I believe.
Kelly, apparently there is a second spill. This is at what is called the Ocean Saratoga rig, which is in the Gulf, and this occurred during Hurricane Ivan in 2004. The company has been trying to fix it for 6 years.
Oh, my God.
They haven't been able to.
That's terrible. That's terrible, George. Well, business as usual is not going to go. What's been happening in the past is obviously not going to happen in the future. I'm concerned about the mariners and the people who are cleaning up the spill with the use of all the dispersants, and oil is toxic by itself, and just the way the inspections have been on these rigs. not there were preventive maintenance and very important on very important emergency equipment that hadn't been done in 6 months or more on this rig. And, it's just not going to be allowed to continue, in my opinion. It can't be allowed to continue.
Fishing industry down there, devastated.
Devastated, I agree.
Let's go to La Grande, Oregon. Johnny, go ahead.
Yeah, George.
Hi, Johnny.
Well, yes, I think I got an idea. I don't know to how to stop that leak is to take pipe casing, and I'm not sure how, if it's 5,000 deep, just keep welding it down or screwing it together 2 to 4 inches less than what the diameter of the pipe is there. Drop that down into the hole with a casing larger than the existing pipe around that where they want to stop it, and the weight of the pipe would stop keep the from pushing the pipe back up, and then they could attach whatever they wanted to shut that down, and even put a rubber stopper in that outside ring of pipe that goes on the outside of the existing pipe. Do you see what I'm saying? Like a stopper deal?
Is the pressure too tough, where it just too strong, where even a pipe would get blown out of it like a bullet?
Not 5,000 feet of pipe. They could drop that in that hole like nothing. Just the weight of the pipe, a half-inch pipe. I'm not sure because I've been in the welding business for years.
And just keep weighing it down.
Just keep put 5,000 foot of pipe together. Take 3 or 4 cranes, whatever you got to do to center it across that hole. Drop it directly into that hole, and then as far down that hole they want to go, have another casing of the existing pipe that's there welded around with gussets on the top of it, so it can't break it off all the way around it, and drop it right over the top of that hole. And then they can put a valve to shut it off or pump oil till they can come up with a permanent fix.
Kelly, sounds like we're getting better ideas than what BP's coming up with.
I tell you, that's a very interesting idea. You should send that over to them and see what they say.
I don't think they're listening to anybody.
Well, I know they have supposedly on the website. They've had thousands and tens of thousands of suggestions, George. But who knows what they're listening to and what they're not? I know people that have had some great ideas. Actually, a number of listeners who've contacted me and sent their ideas over to BP, and they always get a standard email back. Hey, thanks. And
yeah. What about oil-eating microbes? Too much oil out there?
Well, I think that that's what's happening down below the surface right now. Is the bacteria is eating that, and that's a natural process that occurs. But maybe there's so much that I think that's what the concern is, that it's gobbling up all the oxygen, which is not leaving enough left for all the other living things there. I think that's what the concern is.
All right, Kelly, thanks so much. Again, we'll keep checking back with you on this disastrous situation in the Gulf of Mexico. When we come back in just a moment, Stanton Friedman joins us. Later on, Kathleen Martin, their newest work, Science Was Wrong. That's next.